Hello everybody, and a very good morning to you. It's Monday the 4th of February, and it's not just like any other Monday where you feel, oh my god, it's Monday, the beginning of the week. It is indeed the last holiday of a long weekend, and most importantly, it is the Independence Day of Sri Lanka. So happy independence to all of you. My name is Vasam Ismail, and you are watching Good Morning Sri Lanka here on MTV Sports. And I am joined in with a friend of mine who actually has been a friend of mine since the time I was in school, but of course you would have seen him very recently on TV if you're following this program, a very innovative program done by MTV Sports, which is The Debater. So without further ado, I'm going to say good morning to Sashen.
Good morning, Wasam, and good morning, Sri Lanka. I love saying that line. It's a beautiful morning. It's Independence Day, the 4th of February. It's a special day for each and every single one of us who are Sri Lankan, regardless of where you are. It's the 65th time that we're celebrating the Independence Day, and this time around, Trincomalee.
Yes, Sashen. Today President Mahinda Rajapaksa will be celebrating Independence Day in Trincomalee, Sashen, under the theme of prosperous motherland and an affluent tomorrow, and that is the theme. And it's been held in Trincomalee after 60 years. The last Independence Day was held in Trincomalee, Sashen, first in 1953.
It was 1953 and 1965, if I'm not mistaken. There were two times that we've celebrated in Trincomalee, in Fort Frederick to be exact, and this time around as well, we're back in Trincomalee. It's going to be scenic. There's supposed to be around 100,000 people who are supposed to be at the premises.
Yes, so you see, the main event is supposed to be held at the Mackayser Stadium, and as you said, Sashen, they are estimating 100,000 people to attend the main event. And the president's address is supposed to be at 9:15.
The good part is, right, it's always a spectacle to watch Independence Day, and it'll be no different this time around. There'll be 3,000 members of the Tri-Forces celebrating independence who will be doing the parade, and if I'm not mistaken, the Ministry of Cultural Affairs has a pageant sorted out with
860 performers, and they're apparently be using several elephants around the country to be used in the parade itself.
That'll be great. It'll be great to watch, and the good news is that you can watch the Independence Day celebrations on MTV Sports live as soon as we conclude Good Morning Sri Lanka. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a pageant for sure. Independence Day is obviously one of the biggest celebrations in Sri Lanka, and I'm looking forward to it.
And also, Sashen, apparently there's been Trincomalee itself has been getting a facelift in a couple of weeks. There have been the roads have been widened, the buildings being painted, all in preparation for the Independence Day celebration. So if you catch MTV just after the show, you'll be able to watch it live and try to see if you can notice a little elements of change in Trincomalee if you are familiar with the area.
It's going to be a great event, but talking about great events, the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup is currently going on.
Are you much of a cricket fan, Sashen?
I'm a huge cricket fan, but new to women's cricket. This is the first time I've actually watched a few live games because of the fact that the telecasts are very low when it comes to the promotion of females playing cricket, right?
Definitely, but unfortunately, Sashen, yesterday our women were up against West Indies, and we seem to have lost that fight.
We did lose that fight. It was a tough West Indies side. They batted first after Sri Lanka, I think, won the toss and made sure that West Indies went into bat first. West Indies scored 368 runs in their allotted 50 overs.
That's 8 wickets.
That's a huge total.
Yes.
In terms of cricket, that's a run rate, 6+ run rate, if I'm not mistaken, and 170 by one individual. I think her name is Taylor. Taylor scored 171 runs. That's a lot of runs. And
it is, Sashen. They did beat us by 209 runs, but the good part is on 1st of February we did beat England, who are the defending champions.
That was an amazing game. If you did manage to watch it, I captured the highlights of that game, and it was an amazing game because we had a great opening stand, 100+ run opening stand. Things went south after that, but at the end of it all, we had a dramatic finish to the whole match where it was 1 ball remaining, 1 or 4 runs to get, and one of our batsmen scored a 6. So dramatic ending.
Also, Sachin, when it comes to the women's ICC World Cup, I mean, everybody's familiar with the men's World Cup. Just have a look at the footage that's going on. I think there are a few pictures which we can see. And I think that's our women's team right over there on the screen, Sachin.
That was the England versus Sri Lanka game. Sri Lanka, dramatic victory at the end. The good part is we did lose to West Indies. It was quite a hefty defeat, 209 runs to be exact. And we are playing India next tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
We're playing India in Mumbai.
We're playing India in Mumbai. It's the competition is still wide open, because if we look at the history of what has been going on in the Group A itself, England basically lost to Sri Lanka. England beat India in the game that happened yesterday. West Indies lost to India at their opening game, and Sri Lanka then managed to lose to the West Indies. So 1-1 when it comes to losses and defeats, and this next game against India is going to be a crucial game for Sri Lanka. India, after a defeat against England.
Also, Sachin, I mean, you and I know that there are many cricket fans out there, but they're not very familiar with the whole concept of women's ICC World Cup. And do you actually know that there has never been an Asian country that has lifted the World Cup?
I didn't know that. I think Australia have been dominating the World Cup.
It first commenced in 1978, Sachin, and we've had like 8 World Cup series so far. And 5 out of those 8 World Cups have been dominated by Australia.
Right.
2 from England and 1 from New Zealand.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, 1996 was a great year for Sri Lankan cricket. It was a great year for Sri Lanka as well, given the fact that we lifted the ICC Cricket Men's World Cup. And fingers crossed for our women's team, and all the best to them. Hopefully they can clinch a win against our rivals, India. It's always a big rivalry playing India after what happened in the previous World Cup. Hopefully they can win in Mumbai and go to the next round and take away the big trophy.
Definitely. Also, Sachin, another topic that has been shining bright like a diamond, if I would say, is of course Rihanna and
Chris Brown. I mean, this story has been getting a lot of attention in the entertainment arena since 2009. Both the individuals have been doing extremely well when it comes to music. They decided to hitch up and have a relationship. The relationship didn't go too well in 2009, given the fact that there was an assault which took place where Chris Brown beat up his girlfriend.
Oh my God, that is a bad thing, I would say. But then again, I think this topic has been having a lot of prominence on social media lately, especially on the Twitter sphere. What's that all about, Sachin?
What's happening? This is the latest scoop on Chris Brown and Rihanna and their love story, right? So they split up after the.
But it seems that they're getting back together.
They're getting back together. Hopeless place.
I think we've got something interesting on this. Let's have a look at that. Well, that was a little bit about Rihanna and Chris Brown, Sachin.
Well, at the end of the day, it's Hollywood. It's their big-time individuals. They're doing really well, and if it works for them, well, it works for them. I hope the good part in that story was the fact that she said that he has no more room to slip up.
Really?
She said that. And, well, it's one of those love stories. So hopefully it'll work out. If it doesn't, I'm sure that we can talk about it later on the show as well.
Whatever's going on there, Sachin, Chris Brown is still under probation.
He's under probation.
From 2009.
Which is quite unfortunate, but she's willing to take him back, and if she's willing to take him back,
so they found love in a hopeless place, as you said earlier.
We need to head into a short commercial break right now. And,
yes, we will head into a short commercial break and come right back here on Good Morning Sri Lanka.